Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. And the reason we picked that verse this year for our youth is just that sometimes in life, as we go through, life gets tough and challenging. We have different priorities and different motives and that kind of deal. But our whole thing this year for youth is to fully surrender, to give our whole lives to Christ, because ultimately, when it comes down to the end, when our game is over, that's the only thing that's going to matter is what do we do for Christ, what do we do for His kingdom. And so our whole goal this year during the youth is this concept of fully surrender, giving our whole lives to Christ. And so as we went about, and I was thinking about this lesson tonight, I titled it, Who's Calling the Plays in Your Life? Who's calling the plays in your life tonight? And when I think about this, a coach is very important for a football team, or really any team like that, because we have a leader that the players trust and they buy into the program. They're going to do a lot more for that coach. They're going to listen to him or her, and they're going to do everything that person tells them to do. You think about an example from this past year with the Titans. Ryan Tannehill, one of the things that made him such a good quarterback this year is he's played in the league a long time and had kind of up and down seasons. What made him so good this year is because he bought into the program. He realized that he didn't have to throw the ball a whole lot. He was okay with that. Or whatever the coach called, he was going to go with it. And it brought him to a very, very good season, one of the best they've had in probably about 10, 15 years. And when you look at this, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league right now in the NFL that are solid, fantastic football players all across the board. But their teams are not very good. And the reason is because a lot of times they call their own plays, they call their own number, and it's all about me, and they don't really care what the coach says or what the coaching staff is saying. And so they're not ultimately really successful. They have some good moments, but they're not a great team. And when I think about this is that a lot of times in life, we call our own audibles. And what I mean is that you look at Peyton Manning, one of the greatest football players of all time. He was famous for changing the play at the line of scrimmage. So if the Colts coach said, hey, run blue 42, set right, he would go up to the line with that play in his mind, and then you look at the defense and be like, no, let's change. Let's do this. And he would point like a million places, and then he would snap the ball. And it worked pretty well for him a lot of times, but sometimes it didn't work. And the thing is that I think about this concept that if you never listen to the coach, if you never listen to what your instructor or whoever is leading your life is saying, and you become your own coach, you control your own life, and you take charge of that yourself, we're all flawed humans. We've all made mistakes. We've all fallen short, and we're not ultimately going to be successful long term. Here's a great example of that with Tennessee this past year. Tennessee football season, they started off rough, ended pretty well. They could have had a much more productive season had all the players bought in early on. Early on, a lot of the players were all about themselves and their stats, and I want to do it this way. And they were kind of all across the board, so their team wasn't really coming together. And one of the biggest examples, and I'm an Alabama fan, but this applies to the sermon, so that's why I'm including it in there. One of the biggest examples was their quarterback early on in the year was not a person that listened to the coach a whole lot. They didn't like each other. They were in conflict. And so during the Alabama game, Alabama's quarterback got hurt, and Tennessee was behind. They had every chance to come back in that game. It was about 15 points difference. Tennessee really probably could have won that game. And they were 4th and 1 at the Alabama's 1 yard line. They needed 1 yard to score. The coach told the quarterback, run this play. This is going to be successful. You can score off this play. Do this. He lines up with that play in his mind and then decides, you know what, I'm going to call my own number instead. I'm going to do this myself, and decided to keep the ball. Well, as he kept the ball and was running over the goal line, the ball got pushed out of his hand. He fumbled. Alabama picked it up, ran all the way down for a touchdown. And basically that sealed the game. And he got blessed out on the sidelines, and Tennessee ended up kind of going down a little downward spiral until they eventually came together. And the reason I say that to you guys is because so often in our life, God tells us do this or do this. We think, you know what, God, that's okay. I like that play, but this one's better. My way is a little bit better. Or I think this might work a little bit better, God. And so we call our own audible. And so we do our own play, our own route. And sometimes it gets us so far, but in the end, we never really win. We're never really successful. And the thing is that you might be like Peyton Manning and call your own shots, and things are going pretty well right now. But down the road, there's that fumble for a touchdown coming. Because you're only going to go so far as a human. because we're all flawed. And if you take control of your life and say, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, whatever Bradley thinks is best, you're eventually going to hit some roadblocks down the road or get hit real hard. And life's going to get real tough for you. And what I think about is that all of obedience, following your coach, goes back to love and faith in your coach. And so if you're not following God fully, if you're calling your own audibles, doing your own thing, thinking that I can control my own life, it's because your faith is not really strong in God. You don't really trust what His Word says or what He's telling you. Because the Bible, there's a lot of things in the Bible that may not make sense to us that right away, or may be hard to understand, or maybe like we read that and think, that doesn't really apply to me. Maybe it applied to those people. When in all reality, it may be hard to live out some things in the Bible. Jesus never promises this life's going to be easy. Following Him is not going to be easy. But He promises that it's going to be worth it. And the life that we're going to have by following Him is going to be joyful, peaceful, loving, and all of that. The life you live by yourself, you may have some temporary happiness and temporary joy, but it's never going to be eternal. Because that fumble for a touchdown is right around the corner. It's always coming. And I think about this. Just kind of a funny example of my own life. When I was playing football in college, I was a kicker. A lot of you guys have seen the video when I got creamed sophomore year. And in that video, I knew how to tackle. I wasn't a good tackler, but I was taught in practice how to tackle. I was supposed to go low, keep my head down, keep my feet moving, that kind of thing. And when the running back was breaking free on the kickoff, I thought, I'll call my own audible. I'll just try to make the highlight film and just hit this guy chest up. I'm 150 pounds playing college football, so that was a dumb idea. And I was running full speed, and then I got a little scared. I got close to the guy and stopped my feet, basically did everything I wasn't supposed to do, and got hit right over the chin, lifted off the ground, both feet, bleeding from the chin, a little bit up, like crazy on the ground. It was not the best situation. And the reason I share that with you guys is because I might not have made a great tackle, but had I done the right form, that wouldn't have happened. And so I tell that to you guys, as you think about your own life, think about some certain areas in your life that maybe you're holding on to, and you're calling your own shots, and you don't want to really let go of that control yet, because, like I said, things ain't going well right now, but eventually that hit's going to come, or that fumble for a touchdown is going to come. So I challenge you guys, that whatever that area is in your life, let that go tonight. Trusting God to be your ultimate coach, your ultimate guide. Because see, the thing is that God never makes mistakes. He's never made one, never will make one. And the plan He has for your life, His playbook, although it may be hard for us to see at first, is definitely the one that's going to win the game for us. And in all reality, Christ has already won the game. And so I want to challenge you guys tonight that, maybe you're living your own life, or you're kind of self-centered and being on what I call the self-team. And if you're on the self-team tonight, I just want to encourage you, the free agent portal is always open. Christ is always wanting to recruit new members, and He's sitting there with wide open arms saying, hey, look, my team's available, and let go of the control, and let me take control. Let me call the shots in your life. Let me start calling the plays. If you can release that control to God, I promise you, although your life, things may get tough, you're going to have a lot more joy, a lot more peace, a lot more patience, self-control, and goodness that comes out of that. And what I kind of want to leave you guys with is, when I think about this, if you look at like tonight, we see it, in these major stadiums now in the NFL, they have press boxes that are way high up in the stadium. And the reason they have that is because the coaches that are not the head coach, one of the ones that are calling the shots, are sitting in the press box. The reason they do that is because they can see the entire field. Because when you're on the field, all you can see is right in front of you, and you have kind of narrow vision. But when you're in the press box, you can see everything. And so the ones that are calling the shots are saying like, hey, Patrick Mahomes, I'm seeing this. This safety's about to blitz. D is going this way. You should run this play. And so he's like, okay, roger that, and then calls the shots. Now the thing is, because, think about this in this situation, all we can see in our life is what's right in front of us. Maybe what's a day ahead. We can't see how our actions are going to affect us 5 years down the road, or 10 years down the road. So some of the things that God may be calling you to, or some of the things that are in the Bible that may seem strict or hard to follow, God's put those there for a reason, because it's not necessarily that it's for your benefit now, but it's because God knows what's going to happen in 3 or 5 years to you, and He knows if you do what I tell you now, your life's going to be a lot better in 3 or 5 years. Because see, Christ is basically in the press box. He can see your whole life laid out in front of you, all you can see is right now. So if God's telling you to do something or telling you to move this way, it may seem not right to you and challenging. You may want to call an audible, but I encourage you, have faith in your coach. Trust your coach because he can see more than you can, and he's going to call the best play for the long run. And so we'll pray tonight, but I just want to encourage you guys. None of you, if some of you guys here haven't fully let go of that control yet and never trusted God to be your coach and your leader in your life, I ask that we just think about this Proverbs verse one more time that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. No matter how bad you're struggling or how tough life may be, if you release that control to God and say, God, I'm going to follow you, I'm going to let you be my coach, my God in my life, I promise you no matter what you go through, life's going to be a whole lot better, a lot more joyful. And then one day, you'll be in eternity with the best team in the world, with your coach right there with you. So I'm going to pray for us tonight, and we can go on with our night. And dear Lord, I just ask that if anybody here hasn't fully trusted you, Lord, really let go. That was a weird moment. All right, we'll walk that one back in. Dear Lord, I just pray that if any of us here haven't fully trusted you tonight, that we release that control to you, Lord, and say, Lord, I let go of my life. I trust you down the cross for my sins. I trust that you are my Savior. I'm going to trust in you tonight, Lord. I'm going to let you be the God of my life and the coach of my life, and I'm going to give up control to you. And Lord, I ask that someone hasn't prayed that prayer before. Tonight's their first time. They just talked to one of us tonight. And I ask that some of us in here that are followers are calling our own audibles and doing our own thing, Lord, and not really going by your playbook. I ask that go back to your word. We take time each day and each night to meditate on your word and to understand really what your word's telling us to do, Lord. No matter how challenging it may be, I ask we have the confidence and the faith in you. We follow your word no matter what, knowing that that's going to be the best thing for us in the long run, Lord. And you're going to watch out over us. You're going to protect us. You're going to guide us. You're going to care for us every step of the way. God, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for this family. Please just bring us closer to you day by day. In glorious name we pray, Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.